I think we might be seeing the end of the Democratic Party and the left politically. I don't know to what percentage this is probable, but I've noticed something based on what's happening with Michael Avenatti that leads me to believe they may have sealed their own fate with some kind of paradoxical principle system that doesn't work. Okay, let me explain. We have this story from the Examiner. Democrats turn on Avenatti after white male slip-up. For those that aren't familiar, Avenatti apparently said that it better be a white male as the Democratic nominee in 2020. I talked about this a couple times. I said, he's not technically wrong. I'm sure there are DNC officials who are saying, here's who's going to beat Trump. I disagree. Obama won twice. I don't think you can just make the claim that you need a white male to win. But here's the thing that Avenatti doesn't understand. First, we have this story. They're turning on him. Sure. But what is this quote all about? Well, we'll come back to this story. We'll read through it in a second, but I want to show you this. Michael Avenatti tweeted, "For days, I have been calling on Time to release the full transcripts of the interviews I gave to Molly Esk over many months. They refuse. Why? Because they purposely misquoted my words and took them out of context. A complete hatchet job. I want the transcripts released." He says, "Just as an example, look at the excerpt below, read my efforts representing women. You will see a portion of the quote they used in the story, but not the entire quote. They also fail to include the question for context. I have nothing to hide. Time is hiding the truth." To which I politely responded, "Why would Time purposefully run numerous stories about your statement out of context? Large media companies have no interest in lying to their readers or misrepresenting people, right? Certainly, the 90% of news about Trump that is negative is real and not fake news." Well, here we have Michael Avenatti facing the brunt of what he claims is Time magazine taking his quote out of context and smearing him. Now let's tie this together. Trump understands that the media wants to destroy you. It's not that they want to, it's not that they don't want you to have a career or anything like that. It's that the destruction of you is ratings and it's money. Michael Avenatti is a prominent figure. Negative press about Avenatti is going to make some moolah. It's going to generate some traffic, get some ad revenue, and Time knows it. So Time is going to latch onto whatever they can and smear them. So this is where I think this is really bad news for the Democratic Party. Michael Avenatti, even in the context presented by Time, I don't think his statement is really that bad. I completely disagree. I do think we're seeing this circular racism, but I understand what he's trying to say. From Avenatti's perspective, if white males are so privileged, then you need someone who's privileged to stand up to Trump to win so they can bring about, social justice or whatever. I'm kind of like condensing what I think his idea is about. Within the context, it apparently means a lot more than that. So I get what he's saying. But here's the thing. Because of this idea that white men are on top, because Avenatti followed through on that idea, Time magazine latched onto it, and now they're going after him with it, and this will destroy him. Think about what's going to happen to every Democrat who then can't act pragmatically to actually compete against Trump. Let's say it's true. Let's say Michael Avenatti's right. You do need a white male to beat Trump. Well, you're never going to get it now, because even if that is true, the left will eat you alive if you even go near that position. But then look at how the media responds. Because the left has created the circumstance where there is no forgiveness, and I don't mean like let me rephrase, the regressive left, because the liberal reactionaries on the left have taken away any semblance of forgiveness. You're either with us or against us. The media has a really easy opportunity to create salacious, news, to smear you, to make something, seem crazier than it is, to generate traffic. Michael Avenatti is accusing Time, saying that they're taking him out of context. Why would they do that? Well, I don't know, but I can only assume it's for ratings. How are they going to get ratings? Well, the left reacts to an extreme degree at the idea of racism. So Time has run numerous stories running this quote from Avenatti where he said it better be a white male in 2020. Did he really mean that? Well, according to him, he didn't. That you're taking him out of context. Doesn't matter. The left wants something to destroy. They want to latch on something. They want to attack. They want to protest. And the media wants traffic. So the media is going to keep feeding the beast. Think about what happens then with every Democratic candidate. When Trump does something bad, Trump recently at a rally was talking about that guy, Greg Gianforte, I'm screwing his name up, but I'm talking about, the body slam Republican. And Trump said, man, a guy can body slam, he's my kind of guy, and then he does that motion. The media goes after him. They call him out. They say Trump is inciting violence, and Trump supporters just don't care. Okay? So what happens? Trump can say, grab him by the pussy. He can say a bunch of really mean, nasty stuff. He can call Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, and Trump supporters don't care. They're going to vote for him anyway. He got elected through all of that. Inverse. The media smears Avenatti. The left goes insane, condemns Avenatti, calls him racist, and he's cast out with the wolves. That basically means no matter what the media does, Trump supporters don't care, and the left will always care. And we're going to see a Democratic primary, we're going to see a Democratic nominee. And the media is going to say Trump bad, Orange man bad, all that stuff. And Trump supporters are going to go, yep, same old. And the left is going to put up a new, I don't think Avenatti is going to be 2020 at this point. But they're going to put somebody up, maybe Warren. Warren's going to, let's say they put up Warren. My God, the media is going to go ham with the racism Native American narrative because it gets clicks. They call it the Trump bump, right? When Donald Trump does something, they report negatively on Trump, their ratings go up. It's a phenomenon everyone knows about. That's why they won't stop talking about Trump. That's why they gave Trump $5 billion worth of free press talking about him nonstop. There was one thing I saw where they even put the cameras on a Trump rally when he wasn't there for like a half an hour, waiting for him because they wanted it so bad because the ratings were good. The negative press works. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to do the negative press on Trump. It's not going to work because Trump supporters don't care, but the left does care. So all the negative press against the left will destroy them, and none of the negative press against Trump will have any impact at all. Thus, there is a practice that the left has encouraged of calling out hate speech and violence and racism, or I shouldn't say violence because everyone calls out violence, some more than others. I don't want to get into the violence conversation, but yes, there are people on the left who call it out. They should do it more. Many on the left are saying, punch a Nazi and that stuff, but I digress. You've got two sides, and the Trump supporters don't care and the left does. What's your result? Plain and simple. Republicans are going to be able to say whatever they want because the Republicans are just like, yeah, I get it, man. Be offensive, it's fine. And the left will be offended by everything. Every step of the way. The Democratic candidates are going to be walking on the razor's edge, while Trump is going to be dancing around the ballroom doing offensive things, and nobody cares because they're going to vote for him anyway. The Democrats don't have that luxury. So let's read a little bit of this article. I don't want to prattle on for too much longer, but they say, Michael Avenatti is an aspiring 2020 Democratic presidential candidate, but his assertion that the party's next presidential nominee should be a white male has fellow Democrats turning on him. Saying something like that is the quickest way not to get the Democratic nomination for president, Brad Bannon, a Democratic strategist, said. Avenatti made the comments about Democrats' 2020 presidential nominee during an interview with Time magazine published Thursday. I think it better be a white male, he told Time. He denies it. Time stands by their reporting. So here's another funny thing. I wonder, Avenatti, are you now going to understand why Trump calls them the fake news? Is the left going to see this and say the media is lying about Avenatti? Nope. I'm looking on Facebook. I posted about this. How the hell are you going to have racists like Avenatti saying this? Some people are saying, dude, this is out of context. It's not fair because they support Avenatti. But a lot of people are saying, yup, he was wrong to say it because they trust the media. They don't question the media. And there we have it. No matter who is running on the Democratic ticket, the media is going to want to tear them down to get those ratings. And it will work every single time. And it won't work on Trump for the 80th time I'll say it. He says, one of the reasons why I've been effective with women and others, but especially with women, is because I think it's different when you have a white male making the arguments, he continued. I think they carry more weight. Should they carry more weight? Absolutely not. But do they? Yes. No, they don't, Avenatti. Avenatti quickly came under fire for his comments from Democratic activists, putting the celebrity lawyer on the defensive. He demanded Time reporter Molly Ball release the full transcript of the interview and took to Twitter to clarify his remarks. And then he goes through the tweet that I mentioned. But Bannon said remarks like Avenatti's won't be tolerated by Democratic activists or party leaders. That's not going to win him any friends, and if he's really serious about running to win the Democratic nomination. Bannon said Avenatti is likely going to antagonize most Democratic primary voters with his comments, which he said are completely off base and completely wrong, as women in particular have been galvanized by events such as the Me Too movement and the fight over Justice Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. Look at how much of the Democratic Party's leadership is either female, black, or Latino, and I think that's where the energy in the party is, Bannon said. And I think that would be a great asset to a Democratic presidential candidate in 2020, not a liability, as Avenatti says. And you know what? I agree. Obama won twice. There's this weird racism, okay? I've talked about it time and time again, and here we see it. They won't listen. The left is being taken over by racists. Avenatti is just the latest example of the racists in the left and the Democratic Party. Barack Obama won twice. That means people who voted for Obama voted for Trump. I doubt racism was the reason they voted for Trump if they're willing to support Barack Obama. Michael Avenatti has this identity politics brain disease where they think everyone's a Nazi. And what ends up happening, he says, well, because everyone's a Nazi, you better run a white male. Even in the face of our recent history, they believe this to be the case. And there's one more big mistake they made. The media chases ratings. Do they lie? Well, mostly no, they don't. But do they sensationalize? Do they take quotes out of context? Do they smear people? Yes. When we're talking about a fact-based story, you know, a car crashed into a fire hydrant down on 46th Street. Yeah, they're going to get the details right. But when we're talking about Avenatti, apparently Time Magazine is going to run the craziest story, making him sound like a racist. Why? Generates traffic. And Donald Trump has called that out. And many people on the right call that out. The media gets angry about it because the media isn't overwhelmingly fake. They just happen to be fake when it comes to dealing with a lot of people. Avenatti is no exception, nor will any Democratic candidate be. And because they keep defending the press, they have no recourse. Trump said, fake news. And the right was like, yup, that's not true about Trump, and I trust Trump. And so Trump can get away with whatever. He can say whatever. He can talk about body slamming people. Doesn't matter. His supporters are fed up with the negative press about Trump. The Democrats and the left won't have that luxury. They've defended the press, they've defended the smears, and now they are going to face the brunt of those smears, but the right is also more willing to forgive. The left is not. Politics flows in one direction. I go and talk to someone on the right for an interview, and they accuse me of being conservative. I spend my entire life on the left. Even making documentaries about institutional racism doesn't cut it. And that's where they see themselves. Avenatti, excised. Anyway, stick around. I've got a couple more videos coming up in just a few minutes. The next video, it looks like we might be seeing a James Damore 2.0 because an Apple intern is speaking up against this lack of diversity of opinion and speaking up against forced diversity. So stay tuned. That'll be up in a few minutes.